here.
Apocalypse.
The baby!
Hey runners, let me talk to you. Aliens. No, not those aliens. I mean aliens in general. It's no secret that I love sci-fi media, and in the sci-fi realm, that includes aliens. Movies like Independence Day, The Tomorrow War, Edge of Tomorrow, Pixels, Men in Black, Monsters vs. Aliens, and even Earth to Echo are all movies I've checked out over the years.
Got a blast.
Later, Nick.
And back in 2019, if you would have asked me what some of my favorite alien movies were, I would have mentioned a few of those, but I also would have added one more to that list. Rim of the World. A Netflix original that came out in 2019 involving aliens, kids, and Viners?
Help me, Bert! Save you. Woohoo! He's already gone.
Yeah, but that backflip though.
It sounds weird now,
Weird.
but when I first watched this, I remember actually liking it. Recently, I restarted my Netflix subscription to watch WWE Unreal, and as a Hell's Kitchen fan,
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
to see Being Gordon Ramsay. And while scrolling, I happened to stumble across this movie again. With some time to kill, I figured I'd give it a rewatch. And after watching it again, I have some thoughts. So today, I figured I'd talk about and share this hidden creation with you guys. So grab your Capri Suns and put on your tin hats, cause today, we're gonna kill the world and save aliens. And we're all out of... Wait a minute, can I retry that real fast?
Spoiler alert.
We come to this place for magic. We come to
Aaron M.
laugh, to cry, to care. That indescribable feeling we get when the lights begin to dim. And we go somewhere we've never been before. Dazzling images, sound that I can feel, and stories feel perfect and powerful. Because here they are.
Aaron M.
We make movies better.
Rim of the World is a Netflix original sci-fi adventure film that was released on May 24th, 2019. The story centers around a group of kids at a summer camp who suddenly find themselves dealing with an alien invasion. The movie was directed by Joseph McGinty Nichol, better known as MCG, and the story was written by Zach Stentz, who originally pitched the idea after wanting to bring back the style of classic kid adventure movies from the 80s, like The Goonies and Stand By Me. At the time, studios weren't really interested in that kind of story anymore, but after shows like Stranger Things made that nostalgic style popular again, the project eventually found a home at Netflix. Production for the film began around May of 2018 with a budget of roughly 19 million Schmeckeldorfs. The movie opens in space, aboard the International Space Station, where something has clearly gone very wrong. Inside the ISS, astronaut Major Collins is attacked by what sounds like some kind of terrifying creature. Back on Earth, though, we're introduced to our main group of kids, heading to a summer camp called Rim of the World. First is Alex, a socially awkward and anxious kid who loves space, but clearly carries some trauma. Then there's Darius, a loud, foul-mouthed, spoiled rich kid with a bad attitude. And Jinjin, a quiet, tough-as-nails runaway from China who mostly keeps to herself. When they arrive, it quickly becomes clear the camp itself isn't exactly well run. The counselors are immature, inappropriate, and very cringy.
Our musical this year is Fiddler on the Roof! If I were a rich man, this is trash!
During the first day of activities, Alex ends up separated from the group. After following Jinjin, who has wandered off into the woods. They soon run into Darius, who starts picking on Alex. That's when a kid named Gabriel shows up from out of nowhere and jumps in to defend Alex, leading to a brief fight between the two. Before things can escalate further, explosions begin lighting up the atmosphere as the sky suddenly turns orange. Something massive is happening. The kids try calling for help, but their phones and electronics aren't working. When they run back to camp, they find the entire place abandoned. Before they can even process what's going on, they come face to face with something much worse. Aliens. After barely surviving, an escape pod crashes into the camp. Inside is Major Collins. She quickly realizes the kids are the only people left around and hands them a strange key, explaining that it's the key to stopping the invasion. Their mission is to deliver it to a NASA outpost in Pasadena. Major Collins unfortunately can't join them on their mission because, shortly after giving them the key, she's killed by one of the alien creatures. Now completely on their own, the kids begin arguing about what to do next. Up until this point, Jinjin has never spoken a word, but in the heat of the moment, she suddenly snaps at the group and gives them a much needed reality check. They decide to get the key to a police station. Along the way, they slowly start bonding, including a moment where they teach Alex how to ride a bike. When they reach the police station, it's completely deserted, except for one prisoner locked in a jail cell, named Lou. Jinjin believes they should let him out, while Darius strongly disagrees. The final decision ends up falling on Alex, and he chooses to let Lou out, hoping it's the right call. Soon after, they encounter military forces evacuating civilians and finally think that they're safe. But an alien ship attacks, killing the officers. Once again, the responsibility of delivering the key falls back onto the kids. They decide to shelter for the night at Gabriel's nearby house. Once they get situated, Gabriel reveals he's a juvenile delinquent who ran away from a correctional facility, and that he also struggles with remembering numbers unless they're written down. Throughout the movie, we also see flashbacks slowly revealing Alex's past, showing that his father died saving him during a fire, which explains much of the trauma and anxiety he carries. The group begins forming a bond, and we start to see a small romance forming between Alex and Jinjin. On their way, they encounter Lou. It turns out freeing him was a mistake. Lou and his armed group try to steal the key, but one of the alien creatures reappears, killing Lou and most of his men, and giving the kids a chance to escape. After another argument between the group, Darius reveals his father is going to prison, and he's about to lose everything. And as they're still dealing with all of that, they realize the alien isn't dying. It's regenerating and tracking them by scent. So, they stop at an abandoned mall to grab new clothes. At the mall, the team gets a brief chance to act like normal kids again before they have to leave. And it's also where Jinjin finally opens up. She reveals that she ran away from home after her father rejected her for not being a boy. After stealing a car, they continue toward the NASA outpost. However, the alien catches up to them, leading to a chase where they manage to temporarily defeat it by driving the car off a bridge. The key, however, ends up getting trapped inside the wreckage, and Darius goes back for it, getting badly injured in the process. The group finally reaches the NASA facility in Pasadena, only to discover it's completely abandoned. Just as they're about to give up, they manage to contact a government official, General Corey, who explains that humanity is losing the invasion, and rescue teams are on the way to get Alex and the rest of the team. But Alex and the others refuse to leave. They want to finish the mission. Following the General's instructions, the kids activate a satellite system that requires them to restore power, climb towers, and turn multiple keys at the same time. Despite Darius losing blood, Gabriel struggling with a number lock, Alex being terrified of heights, and Jinjin accidentally releasing another alien inside the facility, they complete the sequence. The key activates a satellite weapon that destroys the alien mothership, stopping the invasion entirely. Just when it seems like they've succeeded, the alien they've been dealing with all movie returns one last time. But Alex overcomes his fear and defeats it. In the end, Alex and Jinjin share a quick kiss, and the group is reunited with their families, and are recognized as heroes by the government and the world. So far on this channel, every movie or series I've covered, I ended up liking. But I'm warning y'all right now, I legit have like very little glaze for this movie. I'll start with what I did like though. I'll give Room of the World credit for the premise. The idea of a full-on alien invasion where a group of kids have to survive and basically save the world on their own is actually really interesting. And it's one of the reasons I liked the movie the first time I watched it. I also think the actors did a good job, and I like the design of the alien creatures. They felt like something straight out of Resident Evil, which is exactly what I expect from an evil alien species. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That is basically all the good things about this movie. Rewatching it now, the biggest problem is how generic it feels. Like, I genuinely don't remember it being this predictable the first time I watched it. If you've seen enough sci-fi or alien invasion movies, you can pretty much tell what's gonna happen. And even if you haven't, you can still see most of it coming from a mile away. The pacing itself is fine though. The movie moves along at a decent speed, but story-wise, it never really surprises you. Now, the characters are where things get a little more mixed for me. A lot of their backstories feel underdeveloped or kind of generic. Like, take Gabriel for example. His whole thing with not being able to remember numbers unless they're written down is actually a unique trait, even though it does feel like a watered down version of dyslexia. The movie barely does anything with it though. It only really matters in 2 scenes and that's it. It honestly feels like something that could have been explored way more to give his character depth. That being said though, I still liked Gabriel overall. I do think his introduction could have been handled way better though, because like he basically just appears out of a bush out of nowhere. Jinjin is probably my second favorite character. She's cool, she's tough, and she doesn't talk much at first, which makes her stand out from the rest of the group. I mean, I'm not saying that like women shouldn't speak or anything. I'm not sexist. No, I mean, if she did speak, it wouldn't be like a problem. I'd still like her. But I'm not. Oh my gosh. I don't really have many issues with her, other than her romance with Alex feels a little rushed. Speaking of Alex, he's probably my favorite character. His backstory with his dad dying in a fire is a solid character motivation, and I think the movie handles it decently. I just wish they went further with it, showing more of what actually happened, like what caused the fire, or even a scene showing the aftermath, such as a funeral or something. That would have added a lot more emotional weight. Now, let's talk about Darius. He's loud, generally annoying for most of the movie, and most of his jokes were dumb and like so freaking irritating to me. But I'll be honest, he had a few zingers that got me.
No circumstances approach any unknown aircraft.
It's the next 7-Eleven.
Oh my god, it's Independence Day.
It's June, Gabriel. Oh, wait, maybe North Korea's invaded. Zin, call it off.
And the more I thought about it, the more I realized his character is actually pretty accurate to how a lot of middle school kids act. Which makes sense since the character's like 13 and 14. And to the movie's credit, he does grow and get a redemption arc by the end. Also, why are there so many Viners randomly in this movie? Like, you got Rudy Mancuso, KingBach, and Amanda Cerny. And there's the other comedians playing the counselors also. They aren't in the movie for very long, and their scenes are just filled with middle school humor. And on top of that, Darius already brings a lot of that same flavor of humor, so it was just too much.
Just take it out and put it in my box.
You standing in front of a lot of people right now. You sure about that?
Just calm down.
Wait a minute, we here for canoeing? I thought we was motorboat. You like that? Give me some.
He said, "You like that? Give me some." Oh my gosh, I love Darius. The tone and jokes in those scenes Felt like something you'd find on Awesomeness TV or MTV, rather than a big budget sci-fi adventure movie. This movie is very middle school coded, and I did not like middle school, so maybe the movie is actually good, but I just don't like it because I hate middle school. Maybe I'm the problem, I guess. Then we get to the ending. After they stop the invasion, the movie basically just ends. Like, it just jumps to a quick PowerPoint-esque presentation showing the kids getting knighted by the Queen of England, playing a sold-out show, and going on some kind of world tour. The knighting in the world tour I get, but the concert part just confused me. Did they start a band? Is it supposed to be a joke? If it was meant as a gag, the movie doesn't really set it up well. And on top of that, I wish we had seen more of what the world, and especially the parents, were going through during the invasion. It didn't need to be a whole subplot, but even one quick scene showing the parents reacting or trying to find their kids would have added a lot more emotional weight. So, how do I feel about this movie? Overall, I genuinely don't know how I feel about this movie. The premise is unique enough that part of me still likes it, but there's just too much that doesn't work for me. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's a good movie, but I also don't think it's a complete dumpster fire either. If I had to put it somewhere, I'd probably say it's slightly below mid. It's a weird movie, but I'm not gonna lie. I'd probably still watch it again. As always, thanks for ordering a Yappuccino again. I'm glad we could talk about a movie I actually didn't like for once. Going into this, I thought this movie would hold up, but I was so very wrong. I said before, I'm not a hard person to impress movie-wise, so me not liking a movie is a monumental achievement. But I'm sure there'll be other movies or shows I'll talk about on here that'll give the Aaron seal of disapproval. Yeah, there definitely will be. But anyways, you should watch my video on Tomb Raider. It's one of my favorite videos on the channel. We're on the road to 100, so like and subscribe, comment and share, and I'll talk to you later, runners. Never say that you're all alone when you've got Aaron and videos. Aaron and Miss him, and we always win. So your day is never looking. Grip movies and TV and all shows. Look at all of his videos. The channel's great, you don't need to hate. Ladies, I'm available for a date. The best community on the site. No matter if it's day or night. Here it's always funner because we're all runners. Like and subscribe, please don't be a bummer. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what an EMP is?
Yeah. That's the music white people dance to.
No, that's EDM.
You like that? Give me some.